Howdy y'all, welcome to the Booth Western Art Museum. My name is Miss Lynette. I'm the Education Outreach Coordinator at the museum, and I'm so excited that y'all are going to be joining me again for another live art lesson. And this week I'm really excited about this lesson because it's something that we have throughout the museum. It's another animal, which I love. But today we're going to be drawing an eagle. We have lots of eagle stuff throughout the museum. We have paintings of eagles. We also have eagle feathers, and a lot of our collection depicts American Indians, and we have lots of American Indian artists, and a lot of times there will be like an eagle feather present within the painting, which is something that I'm going to get into a little bit later on. But I'm going to get us going so we can look at a piece from our collection, and then we can also get into our drawing. So for today's lesson, as always, you don't need any fancy supplies. If all you have is a piece of paper, a pencil, you're good. You don't need anything else. I'm going to be using probably a combination of markers and crayons and pencils, so just whatever you've got around your house is going to be perfect. Also, what else? Yours does not have to look like mine. As always, I always draw my second one differently than I did the first one because I want to experiment and take risks and try new things, which is the whole point of doing these lessons. So, if yours doesn't look like mine, that's okay because mine's not even going to look like mine. And then the whole point of this is just to have fun, to experiment with the artistic process, to try new things and to practice. So, without further ado, I'm going to flip my camera around so you can see the table in front of me, and I'm going to show you an artwork from our collection, which I like a lot. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, let's see, make sure the camera's all good. The camera is all good. We did it. Okay, so the painting I wanted to show y'all today is this one by artist Fritz Scholder, who is a very, very famous artist. He is one quarter Lucieno American Indian, which is a California mission tribe. And this painting is actually very big. It's like, I think as tall as I am or taller. It's very big. So this painting isn't typically what he would paint. He actually liked to paint American Indians living today and show them as real people in the modern world, because he was seeing a lot of people paint American Indians wearing very traditional clothing that a lot of them would wear throughout history, which are good. It's good artwork, but a lot of times he would think that, people might think that American Indians weren't around anymore, or that just that they are living today and they look a lot like you and me, which is what he wanted to show throughout his artwork. But this painting also shows something that he loved to do in his artwork, which is explore color and celebrate color. He loved to see different colors put next to each other and see like how that would change the overall, effect of the painting. And also loved to just experiment. You can see that there's lots of paint drips in this artwork, so he loved to play with the paint and see like how it dripped, how it smudges together and smears and blends and flows. So really, with today, I want to encourage you to try some crazy colors. And with my drawing, I tried to use like some oranges, and I even included a little bit of pink in here. But today, I think I am actually, when I color, I think I'm going to copy Fritz, and I'm going to do a blue eagle sort of thing. So, but think about colors that you wouldn't normally see an eagle which is probably, any color except brown. But just try to experiment with some fun colors today as you're working. Here, actually, let me keep this close by. Here we go. All right. So, and I'll kind of keep this nearby as well. So, I'm going to grab my pencil real quick. So, the first thing, and also just as a side note, you know, Fritz Shoulder painted his eagle kind of perched or sitting here, and I drew mine flying because I thought the silhouette of the, which is just the outline or big shape of the eagle with the wings, looked really cool. So that's why I decided to draw the eagle flying. But if you want to draw yours more like this, please feel free. But the first thing I want to draw with my eagles, I want to make sure I get the head kind of in the right place, and then we'll just kind of go off from there. So I drew mine kind of in the middle of the paper, but I drew it over on this, more on the right side. And then I did it more to the right so that we have enough room over here for the tail and the big wing and everything. So I'm even actually going to go a little bit down, but you're going to want to draw like a little hill for the top of the eagle's head. And then you're going to want to keep going down, and almost like your hill drops off at a cliff, and this is going to be where the beak is. And then you're going to give a little point for your beak here, and then you're going to go straight, kind of a straight diagonal line there. I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little darker here. And then for the eagle's belly, it's kind of like a valley or kind of a pit here. So that's your eagle's belly. And then you can draw a diagonal line that goes down, which will be part of the wings, or the tail, excuse me. And then I'm also going to draw the back of the eagle here. Let's see, let's do right here. Because this will get covered up. I'll probably erase some of this line when I draw the wing, but it'll give me a place to go off of. Here we go. And then you're going to do another diagonal line that goes out. And then when I draw feathers, I like to do almost like these like curved shapes. You can make them more pointed as well. It's up to you. Feathers also, every feather looks different, so it really doesn't matter if this part is perfect or not, because who's going to be able to tell? Okay, so the next thing is we need to draw the big wing over here. So kind of a little bit, almost like after you get to your eagle's neck here, you're going to draw a line that just like almost shoots out. Just going to draw a line so it's kind of go diagonal up. You can even curve it a little bit here so it goes back. And then if you want, you can also, the other part over here for like the back where the feathers are, that's going to kind of come out where the tail is over here. And then again, you can add your feathers here. You can make them as big or as small or as rounded or as pointed as you would like. I usually have noticed that, here I've actually got a picture of an eagle that I can show you that might make it a little bit clearer. But a lot of times I've noticed whenever you see eagles flying, the ones at the very tippy top poke out a lot, but then as you get closer to the back, they're kind of more just like little lumps. So if that's something you would like to emulate in your artwork, please feel free. Now we've got the one wing here, and I would like to add another one over here where the head is. So it's kind of at a weird spot. You basically just go out, just pick a point in between the top of the head and the beak, just go diagonal up, gonna create like a big sloping hill, and then kind of over here a little bit down from where the beak is, just draw another line that goes out, and then you are going to want to create your feathers again. They're almost like a popsicle stick shape. And then you can get into some little like ice cream cone shapes. That might not be the greatest example, but you know, it's okay. So now we need to go back in and add, I will add an eye. Actually, I'm gonna draw the beak first. So the beak, usually there's like, it kind of curves at the top and goes out here. And you can also draw a line, start where you pointed back up here, draw a line that goes back. And then you can kind of create like a little, I don't even know how to describe this. Almost like a curved shape that goes in. It's kind of a weird shape. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. You can also if doing a bunch of curved lines is too much, you can just draw kind of a like a diagonal kind of cone shape as well, or a triangle, and that works just as well. And then for the eye, I like to just do a small curved line there, and then create like a circle underneath it. And then you can also draw another circle that'll be like the black part of your eagle's eye. You can also, because this looks like a very friendly eagle, but you can also create it where, I feel like in this one, I did it a little bit where it looks a little like angry. It looks a little bit angry. And how you can do that is just draw the circle so that it kind of goes, is covered more by the eyelid. It's still not quite as angry. You can also create, think of this eyelid almost as like an eyebrow on a person. So you can also create a straight line here. And then the circle. There we go. I like that better. All right. I think my eagle looks pretty good. Now what I did on this one was created some like black shapes to make it look like a shadow. So you can also do that in yours if you would like. I just basically made a similar line to my wing here and then connected it with this line for the body. And then this one, kind of just did it like this. And then a line that connects. And then also if you want, you can create some little dash marks to make it look like your eagle's got a little texture for the wings. And those are the main lines that I would draw. I would also think about what time of day is it in your painting? Is it nighttime? Is it daytime? And think about the different colors that you would use. In mine, I kind of did it almost reminds me, I just was just drawing it as a purple shape, but it almost looks like a cloud. So you could do a cloud with front shoulders. It doesn't necessarily look like a sky to me. It just looks kind of like a fun, colorful background. So it's really up to you what you would like to do. I think I'm actually going to draw a sun in mine. So I'm going to draw a circle right here. And then, ooh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to use, I'm going to use this piece of paper as like a straight edge so I can draw some rays coming out behind my eagle. So if you have a ruler, this is a great time to pull it out and use it if you wanted to do something like this. However, you don't need a ruler. You can just use a piece of paper or something you got lying around. It could even be a book. Doesn't matter. Here we go. So after I finish drawing this, I will start outlining it. Oh, here, I'm going to do one more right here. There we go. Ooh, I like this. This is going to look so cool when it's done. I like this too because I think sometimes it can be hard, or when you're looking at something like this, like, I don't really know what shape to make in the background. Just start with something simple, like a circle, some rays of sun, and that'll really give you a place to go off of as far as the shape for the rest of your drawing. So I am going to pull out my Sharpie. Actually, I'm thinking, all right, I'm actually going to use, this is a very fancy marker. It's like a fancy Prismacolor brand one. I'll try using this blue one. I feel like this blue one doesn't work super great, so we'll see. But I think I'm actually going to outline my drawing with blue today, so changing it up a little bit. And while I do some outlining, I wanted to talk to y'all about, because we have other artwork in our museum that has eagles in it, and a lot of them are related to American Indian culture, because eagles have been important to many American Indian cultures for centuries. And part of this is because eagles can be seen as a symbol to represent courage, strength, honesty, truth, majesty, wisdom, power, and even freedom, which I think, you know, sometimes when you think of eagles, you know, I think it's very appropriate. We've got 4th of July coming up. And a lot of times, you know, Well, the bald eagle is a symbol, you know, for the United States, and so you kind of associate, you know, freedom with the with the eagle, with a bald eagle specifically. But for American Indians, they thought eagles, they saw them as being very special, partly because eagles, you know, they are some of the birds that fly the highest and have some of the best eyesight, and as they roamed the sky, they were seen to have a special connection with the Creator, and even seen as bringing messages from God because they flew so high up into the sky. And one thing that they would do is, because they saw eagles as being so special, they would actually use eagle feathers. They would give eagle feathers to certain people as, almost think of it as like a trophy for doing something really special, or even getting a diploma, which is like a very fancy document you get whenever you graduate high school or college, and basically says that you did something really important and very special. And so they would give eagle feathers to people who did things that were very special. And when a person would get the eagle feather, they wouldn't just, you know, throw it in a drawer or put it in a big pile with stuff. They would display it in their homes and show it as something very important to them. So we actually have some paintings of something that y'all might be familiar with, which here I will pull it out very quickly so you can see. But there's another painting I wanted to show you from the museum, which is this one called The Guardian by David York. And you've probably seen something like this that this man is wearing, which is an eagle feather war bonnet, or some people call it a headdress. And feathers were given to warriors, and this is specifically for Plains American Indians, which they typically lived in kind of this middle part of the country. But the Plains Indians would give warriors who did something very brave or were in combat, they would get eagle feathers for doing these things, and once they got about 30 of them, they could create a headdress like this. And they wouldn't usually wear these like every day, but for special ceremonies they would wear these. And one thing I want to mention is a lot of people typically think of these as being like a chief's headdress, or something that the chief of a tribe would wear. And that's not necessarily the case, but a lot of them would have these, and that's partly because wouldn't you want like someone who's a brave warrior, someone who's done really good deeds, to be your chief? So a lot of times warriors would move up in the ranks and become powerful and eventually become chiefs. So that's why some chiefs had these, but that's not necessarily, if you had one, that doesn't necessarily mean you were a chief. So just wanted to explain that, but also show you, because this painting is very beautiful. I feel like this picture doesn't do it justice, because it's got this beautiful blue backing to this bright orange. It's very beautiful. If you can come to the museum and look at it, I highly recommend it. Let's see. I'm doing good on time today. It's incredible. Because I looked up some cool facts about eagles that I also wanted to share with you, because I feel like that's how I get inspired for these, is I like to look up cool facts. And a lot of you, I showed you a picture earlier of a bald eagle, which is the national bird and symbol for the United States. But another eagle species that was important to American Indians was actually the golden eagle, which I have a picture of right here, which you can see the golden eagle doesn't have the white head like the bald eagle, but has this beautiful golden sheen to it when the light hits it just right. And golden eagles, they are actually, I thought this was very interesting, but there's a lot of countries that use golden eagles as their symbol. So the United States uses the bald eagle, but Mexico uses the golden eagle as their symbol. You can actually see an eagle on the Mexican flag. That looks like a golden eagle to me. But also, Germany and Egypt use a golden eagle as their coat of arms. And then for Afghanistan and Scotland, the golden eagle is their national symbol, which I just thought was really interesting that this bird is used by lots of different people across the world as their kind of national symbol. All right, I'm gonna start coloring in these bigger areas with this dark blue, and then I'm gonna go in with some light blue for the other parts of my eagle. But golden eagles and most eagles are carnivores, which means that they will eat other animals or meat. And a lot of times they'll eat jackrabbits and prairie dogs and squirrels, partly because they live mostly in the western U.S. That can be seen in the east. But they can actually eat larger animals as well, but it's more rare to see. They are very large. Their wingspan, so from like one tip to the other tip of their wing, can be 6 to 7.5 feet long, which is crazy big. I mean, I'm like, that's taller than me. That's bigger than I am, which is crazy. So you see them fly. I don't know if y'all have seen, I see lots of hawks flying around my house, but they always look kind of small because they're way up in the sky, but then when you see them swoop down or get really close, they look really big. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, also this is just a fun fact, which I wanted to share. A lot of times in movies, you know, you'll hear like when an eagle's flying in the sky and you'll hear this like, ah, like, my greatest impression of all time. But you'll hear like a caw or a call of an eagle. But a lot of times the sound that they use is not always an it's actually like the sound that a hawk makes when it flies. Because I've heard that eagles are generally very quiet because, you know, they want to be sneaky when they go in and swoop down for their prey. So a lot of times in the movies, if you hear, you know, you see an eagle and you hear it do the caw-caw, it's usually a hawk. So, there's your fun fact for the day. All right, I'm just going to add some feathers. And then I've got to skedaddle in a minute, but I've got about enough time to go in. Let's see if I've got any other. I pulled out all my blue stuff. I'll go in with a blue crayon over here. Here we go. Just kind of cut. And the one thing I love doing with crayons is, you know, drawing with marker first and then going on top with crayons, because usually the crayon won't cover the marker. So you can draw on top of it and give it this cool effect. Here we go. Here we go. You know, one time I was doing this project with some kids, and I was like, I'm gonna try to draw my eagle with like green. I think green would look really cool. And really in the end, it just ended up looking like a parrot, which is fun, honestly. But I thought about it again today. I was like, well, I don't know if I want to copy Fritz and do blue, but I did draw the green and it ended up being like a parrot the last time, so. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of yellow for the beak, and I'm actually gonna go in and add some yellow for the sky. This is just a fancy marker that I have. That's why it looks kind of weird. But also if you've got a highlighter, that works perfectly. Here we go. Yeah, this looks really good. And so I'm gonna skedaddle, and then when I'm off camera, I'll figure out what colors I'm gonna use for my sky. Gotta figure out what time of day it is. And then I'll post a picture of it later on so you can see what I did. Actually, and right before I go, as always, remember to write your name on your artwork, because you worked really hard on this, so you want people to know that you made it. I usually like writing my name towards the bottom of the paper, but you can write it wherever. You can write it in the sky. Make it super obvious. I drew this. It's incredible. Yeah, I like this. I think this is gonna look really cool when I'm done. All right, so I'm going to flip my camera around very quickly so you'll get the shot of the ceiling again. You can see more of the boots. Oh, they're so cool. Okay, so. Oop. Sorry, the camera was being weird. Just want to make sure it's not going to fall over. But thank you all for joining me for this week's lesson. Please be sure if you want to post them and share them with me. I'd love to see them. You can always post them in the comments of this video or just use our hashtag #BoothMuseum on your social media so that we can see your lovely artwork and encourage you to do more of it. I will be here again next week on July 7th at the same time, 10:45 a.m., same place, the Booth Western Art Museum's Facebook page. Next week we are highlighting an artist that we have in the collection. His name is Kim Wiggins. It's incredible, and he does really cool artwork that uses organic and inorganic shapes. So we're gonna do something inspired by his work next week, which is gonna be really cool. So I would definitely check back in next week and see what we're doing. I think that is about it, but if you would like to get more information from the Booth Museum, I would highly recommend signing up for email updates because there's always really good information. Even me as an employee, I learn things from our email updates, and they're very informative, and they'll tell you like what other cool things the museum is doing now that we're open to the public, so also you can come visit us, which would be great. But I think that's it for me. So thank you once again for joining me and the Booth Western Art Museum as we work to share America's story. And I hope you have a wonderful, amazing day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.